Hello everyone, welcome. In this video I wanted to explain and show you a little bit of my technique for doing Heroic Spoils of Pandaria, since I had quite a bit of trouble doing it in our progression until I figured out some little loadouts and ways to do it. So this video is going to be showing you how to do it as a hunter, and this is specifically for if you are on Sparks duty. Basically, there are sparks that come down on heroic mode. Every time you kill something on one side, it gets transferred to the other side as a spark. And if the spark doesn't get killed within, I think it's 10 seconds or something, maybe it's shorter than that, it will explode, dealing 250,000 damage to the entire raid on that side. So killing them as fast as possible is very important to prevent a wipe. So if you're not on Sparks duty, I'm pretty sure you can just stick to your normal spec and loadout. So for me, I would have probably just went Beastmaster if I were just on the boxes and on the ads, because my cleave would be quite good. However, because I was on Sparks duty, I found that Beastmaster was quite difficult because my pet would keep going back and forth. There is some travel time for the pet, and I would lose quite a lot of DPS, even with Blink Strikes, which teleports your pet, but I believe there is a cooldown for Blink Strikes, so it would still go back and forth. And the AI for the pet is kind of strange, as you can see. I don't know if I'll find some footage for it, but basically sometimes I would tell it to attack a spark, and it would move towards the spark, and before it would reach it, it would leash back to the ads. And so it would basically not be attacking anything for a good few seconds, which is quite a loss of DPS, especially for a Beastmaster Hunter where their pet deals 50% of their damage. So I opted to go for Survival, for Sparks, because, well, yes, my pet was being kind of retarded and not attacking the right things, even though I was trying to control it as best as I could. And it would, run around, and I would lose a lot of DPS. And that's actually been one of my problems with hunters for a while is I just don't like pet classes. I don't really like having an AI companion that is very important to my performance. I kind of like the idea of being a lone hunter with like marksman. I like the idea of marksmanship, but right now it's not very good, and that's actually why I'm kind of excited for the level 100 talent with or without you, which you deal, I think, 30% of the damage without a pet if you're in marksman or survival, which sounds pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to that. But that's not the topic of this video. This video is to tell you what ways I figured out how to succeed at Spoils of Pandaria for the Sparks. And the trick is to do as much single target burst damage as possible, but having your burst be consistent and having it be available for a long time. So I had gone Survival right off the bat, because Beastmaster, I was losing too much DPS with my pet running around all the time. And I had Dire Beast. Usually I use Dire Beast for Beastmaster as well as Survival, especially if we're on a single boss for a long period of time. The setup I usually use is a long sustained DPS, so Dire Beast, Murder of Crows, that sort of thing. Long dots that deal quite a lot of damage. However, for this fight specifically, you actually don't stay on the same target for very long. There's a lot of target switching. Even if you're doing the boxes, things die very quickly within 10 seconds. So the thing is that you'll be switching targets a lot, and you won't have as much dot uptime as usual. And that's the problem with that's the only problem I found with Survival, is that Black Arrow lasts for 20 seconds, so you won't get the full uptime on it because things die very quickly. So I would suggest using your Black Arrow on the big bosses. So on Mantid side, it's like the commanders, Commander Tick, and so on, the ones that put bombs on people and that sort of stuff, because they'll last longer than 20 seconds, so you'll be able to have more uptime on Black Arrow. And Black Arrow uptime is extremely important for Survival, especially for this fight if you're going to do the burst to damage. Because your Black Arrow ticks will proc Lock and Load, which is here, Lock and Load. And what happens in Lock and Load is you get free explosive shots, like so. And so it doesn't actually use your focus, or it makes them cheaper or something along those lines. And that's something I found very important to the fight, especially if you're doing the Sparks, is, well, yes, the burst damage, but the way to do it is to have your spells be available for cheap or for no focus. So lock and load procs are very important because yes, it makes your explosive shots for free. And having the force-set bonus is extremely nice as well because it increases your chance of getting lock and load procs, so you can get quite a lot more and shoot out a lot more explosive shots for free, which is very important. Explosive shot damage does quite a lot of damage, and it's really good for the sparks. The other thing I found that I finally switched to was using Thrill of the Hunt instead of Dire Beast. Because your Dire Beast, it will have the same problem as your pet, because the thing won't be up for more than 15 seconds, as the Dire Beast duration is. It's going to be up for 10 seconds or less, and your Dire Beast will start running around trying to find things to attack, and you'll lose quite a bit of uptime on the Dire Beast, and you won't get as much focus. And so what I found is using Thrill of the Hunt was way better. It would proc quite a lot, and Thrill of the Hunt makes your arcane shot cost quite a lot less. Let's see how much less. 20. So it will only cost 10, which is quite a big reduction actually. And you're able to spam arcane shot and explosive shot, and that's pretty much what I did for that fight. It made the fight a lot easier. It made the sparks a lot more manageable, especially if you got your lock and load procs and your Thrill of the Hunt procs. Then you can just keep shooting your big burst damage attacks like explosive shots and arcane shots and burst down those sparks as fast as possible. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. Just use Thrill of the Hunt. I use Blink Strikes because the other ones are long dots, as I said. Murder of Crows is a 60-second dot, and nothing is up for more than 10 seconds, so you would just lose so much uptime on it. And Link's Rush could be alright, because there's a lot of targets. But my focus was on single target sparks because I was on the sparks duty. And the way our strategy worked is we had one person on sparks, which was me on that side, and I think we had a warlock on the other side. And if I ever needed help, I would call for help if I was overwhelmed. And that's pretty much the trick to it. If you're a hunter or any other class, really, is to try and pick talents and glyphs and whatever loadout or specialization that will allow you to do a lot of cheap single target burst and have it proc often. And that's pretty much the trick to that. Yes. It's pretty simple, and like I said, the only problem with survival is having the black arrow uptime, so try to put it on big targets, like I said, the big bosses. The other thing I found was a good thing to put it on was sometimes I aggro those little guys. They're non-elites, I don't remember what they're called, but they stick to you quite a lot, and if they're away from, I think it's the Amber Weaver or something, they don't get healed. It's a priest or something like that, so they'll be on you. They do get healed, so they'll get healed over and over again, and you'll have quite a lot of black arrow uptime on it, and you get quite a lot of explosive shot procs. And so that's how it works, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. I hope this helps for anyone who's having trouble with it. I sure did. We had about 160 attempts on it, and after I figured out to use Thrill of the Hunt instead of Dire Beast, I actually used Fervor as well, but it didn't really work out too well, because it had a cooldown, right? And Thrill of the Hunt can proc anytime, all the time. And that, like I said, that's the trick. Have burst damage proc as often as possible. I just realized I forgot to talk about what to do with your pets. Shows you how much I pay attention to my pet and care about it. Yes, I'm a bad hunter. I forget that I have a pet and that it does things. On this fight, I usually sent my pet against the box ads, the ones that come out of the boxes, and if I ever needed help with the sparks, I would call my pet to help me with the sparks. Usually I would do this pretty often if I was having trouble taking it down, because your pet will help you quite a lot. Usually I would try to keep it on the ads because of the travel time, like I said, and that's also why I took Blink Strikes, so it can get to the sparks faster and have more uptime on the sparks if I ever needed help, and it is quite helpful. I found that using it, calling my pet to the sparks more often helped me get them down faster if I ever needed to do that. So yes, don't forget to use your pet, as I often do. Alright, I think that's going to do it. Thank you for watching. I hope this helps you. And good luck with that fight. It is pretty challenging. Take care.